My fiancée and her parents publicly mocked my late mother at rehearsal dinner, so I called off the wedding in front of all without a second thought. Update 2. As we got closer to the date, Jack and Donna's true colors started to shine through even more. Every conversation with them turned into some kind of backhanded comment or passive-aggressive remark. For example, when I tried to confirm the guest list for the dinner, Donna rolled her eyes and said, "We'll handle it, Michael. You don't need to stress over the details. Just show up and enjoy." It was such a small thing, but it bugged me. Like this was supposed to be our event, right? Shouldn't Lydia and I have a say in who's coming? Then there was the menu. Donna made this huge deal about how they were curating a high-end dining experience for the night. She kept saying things like, "Oh, we've got the chef to create something really special. Nothing like what you'd normally find back home, Michael." That last part was her favorite dig back home. She loved reminding me that I wasn't from the same social circle as them. I'm from a small working-class town, and they never let me forget it. I tried to brush it off and focus on the bigger picture. I kept telling myself, it's just one night. Smile, nod, and get through it. But even Lydia was starting to act weird. She'd always had this habit of siding with her parents on things, but in the weeks leading up to the dinner, it got worse. Anytime I brought up an idea or concern, she'd wave it off and say, "Michael, you're overthinking this. My parents know what they're doing." The thing is, it wasn't just about the dinner. It was the way they made me feel like an outsider in my own relationship. They treated me like I was lucky to even be in the room. Like I should be grateful that Lydia was willing to marry me. And Lydia, she never stuck up for me. If anything, she encouraged it by laughing along or dismissing me whenever I tried to bring it up. A week before the dinner, there was this incident that should have been a huge red flag for me. Lydia and I were at her parents' house finalizing some details for the wedding. Donna was in full control mode, flipping through seating charts and floral arrangements like she was planning a royal event. At one point, I made a suggestion about changing the centerpieces to something simpler, something my mom would have loved. Donna didn't even look up from her binder. She just said, "Oh, Patricia had interesting taste, didn't she? But this is Lydia's day. Let's keep things modern, shall we?" I froze. It was such a subtle jab, but it hit me hard. Lydia didn't say a word. She just kept scrolling on her phone like nothing had happened. I wanted to call Donna out right then and there, but I didn't want to start a fight, so I swallowed my pride and stayed quiet. Looking back, I hate that I didn't say something. It's like every little insult and slight was adding up, but I kept brushing it off because I didn't want to rock the boat. I thought I was keeping the peace. The day of the rehearsal dinner finally arrived, and I could already feel the tension in the air. Lydia and I drove to the restaurant together, and I tried to make small talk to lighten the mood. She was quiet though, scrolling through her phone and barely responding. When I asked if she was excited, she just shrugged and said, "It's just a dinner, Michael. Don't stress. Just a dinner, right?" When we got to the restaurant, Jack and Donna were already there, acting like they owned the place. Jack was standing by the entrance, shaking hands with guests as they arrived, while Donna was busy giving instructions to the staff. The whole thing felt more like a corporate event than a family gathering. The restaurant itself was over-the-top fancy, white tablecloth, chandeliers, the whole 9 yards. It was the kind of place that screams, "Look how important we are." And honestly, it just made me feel more out of place. As the guests trickled in, I started noticing something weird. Most of the people there were from Lydia's side of the family. There were maybe 3 or 4 people from my side. My dad, my sister, and a couple of close friends and relatives. Everyone else was either a relative of Lydia's, or one of her parents' business associates. It was like they'd turned the rehearsal dinner into a networking event. I pulled Lydia aside and asked her what was going on. "Why aren't more of my family here?" I said. She gave me this exasperated look and said, "Michael, your family's small, my parents had to fill the room somehow. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal." That was her answer for everything. I bit my tongue and went back to mingling, but I couldn't shake the feeling that this dinner wasn't about us. It was about Jack and Donna showing off. They'd hijacked what was supposed to be a celebration of our relationship, and turned it into their own personal spectacle. After everyone had eaten, the real show started. The speeches. Jack was the first one up. Of course. He grabbed the mic like he was giving a keynote address at a conference, not talking about his daughter's wedding. He cleared his throat, and started with, "Welcome everyone. Tonight is about celebrating the union of 2 families, our Lydia and of course Michael." He said my name like it left a bad taste in his mouth. I was sitting there trying to stay calm, but every word out of his mouth was a thinly veiled insult. He started talking about how proud he was of Lydia, and how she's always been the star of the family. She's always known what she wanted in life, and gone after it. And now she's marrying someone who will keep her grounded. He smirked when he said that, and I swear a couple of people chuckled. I just stared at him wondering if I'd heard him right. Then he launched into this story about how Lydia was always a high achiever even as a kid, and how it was a good thing she had their guidance to stay on the right track. At one point he said, "You know, we've always taught Lydia to aim high." And while Michael might not be what we envisioned at first, he trailed off, letting the sentence hang like it was supposed to be funny. I could feel my dad and sister glaring at him from across the table. Now you can watch the third part by pressing share and more.